All right, welcome back to the Brownie restoration. Yeah, it's been a while since I got a video for you guys. So what I'm going to work on today is getting the airbags, the supply lines for the airbags hooked up. I ended up cutting these fittings off because they were rusted into the airbag. So when I was tearing it apart, I ended up just cutting them because I tried heating them and I couldn't get them loose, and I was just spending way too much time on them, so I just cut them. So what the plan is, I got new ends, and then I'm going to take the grinder and cut this crimp, pull the old end out, put the new end in, and then use just a hose clamp, double clamp these with hose clamps, and then these go through the frame rails. So that's what the plan is. I got new clamps here, clamp these all down. So there's 8 airbags, so I am going to do that. So let me go gather some tools and we'll get to work on it. Okay, so here's our parts. Here's our new fittings. Right here, this is a left hand and a right hand, and then I got some new clamps here to hold it to these supports, and then some hose clamps. So I'll get this figured out and I'll show you how we're going to do the first one. All right, so we're going to work on this. This is the left front airbag on the suspension. So what we're going to do is we'll take off that cover, and I got my new fitting here. I'm going to put some anti-seize in between on the pipe here where it thread, just to hopefully keep that from seizing up. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some anti-seize on that. I'm going to put the pipe through the frame and tighten it into the airbag, and then I'll come back with the grinder. I'm going to slice this crimp here. It's just a brass crimp, so I'll slice that, get that off, and then we'll take this pipe out of the hose, and I'll hook the hose to that with clamps. Well, I'll probably have to take it in the shop here to put it in the vise to get that plug out, so I can plug the hole there in the new fitting. All right, so hopefully you can see what we're doing. Like I said, I was going to put anti-seize here, so we'll put just a little bit on here, keep this from getting screwed up. All right, and I failed to mention that there's an O-ring, I guess, that goes there. So I got a package of them. Put the O-ring here, and then we'll go ahead and slide this through the frame. And probably ought to put some anti-seize in there also. So I'll go ahead and do that and thread this in. Gotta love the anti-seize. Okay, grab my wrench. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and snug this baby down. Better set the camera down so I can hold everything. All right, so that's tight. And what I did, I just kind of centered this pipe in the hole there. So that should be good. All right, next I'm going to take the grinder and we'll slice this crimp and we'll pull that fitting off. trying to be careful with the grinder so I don't cut the hose. So that's split, and I'm gonna have to go get a screwdriver to pry that off, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back with the screwdriver. So we're gonna pry this crimp off, and then we'll take this hose end out. Just pry this over like so. And then this hose end just pops right out. So this scrap iron, actually we'll take this pipe plug out and put in the new one. So grab my hose clamps for the hose, and I think I'll put one going each direction. Grab the, loosen those up a little bit. Like so. And we'll just slide this on the new fitting and tighten up clamps. All right, something like that. I'll probably get a 1/4-inch ratchet and use a socket to snug those up. But that's that. And then what I'm going to do next, I'm going to cut that zip tie and swap this out to one of these rubber insulated clamps. We'll put that like so. This one's okay, but a lot of the other ones are broken. So I'm just going to go ahead and swap them all out so that way they're all the same. Probably should have done that before I put the hose on, and then I could have just slid it off instead of having to cut the zip tie. But I wasn't thinking. Close that off, and we'll put clamp around. And then just tighten that like that. Go. All right, so that's what it looks like. We got the new fittings in the airbags here. Like I said, we'll come in. I still got to put the plug in there, hose clamps, and then I got the little rubber insulated clamp back here holding the air line. So I got one done, and I got 7 more to go. So I'm gonna work on that. All right, next I'm going to work on the rear axle airbag fittings. It'll be same as the last one up front. We're going to slice this crimp, pull out the old fitting, install the new one with hose clamps, and then this one has the air lines that run from the leveling valve, which supply the air to the airbags, and then this goes straight through and it goes up to this hose. So this hose feeds like I would say number 2 and number 4 airbag on the left, and then this hose feeds number 1 and number 3 on the left, and then it's the same thing on the right side. So we'll go ahead and get working on changing the fittings out on these two. All right, so we'll just take these air lines loose. said, these come from the leveling valve here. These are the air lines from the leveling valve to the airbags. And we'll save this fitting because we're going to have to reuse it when we put the new fitting in. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the grinder and slice that crimp. Kind of go real slow with it so I don't cut the hose. And we'll just crimp this, put a screwdriver in here and pry this up. There we go. It's just brass. Okay. And then we should be able to pull that old fitting out. I throw that in the garbage, and let me get the right fitting to put in it. So looks like I got the right fitting. Better get my other parts. Need some hose clamps. All right, got the hose clamps for there. Shoot, I gotta loosen it up. Like I said, I don't know if it matters, but I put them one going each way. Said, I don't know if that makes a difference, but I thought it might. And I'm going to go ahead and put some anti-seize on this tube. Try to keep these things from seizing up if I ever have to tear it apart to replace the airbags. That, and then we'll put my O-ring on there, and then we will see if we can install it here. Alright, so I had to loosen up this fitting a little bit and push it toward the back to get the hose on. It was a little bit snug. Maybe once this, it's pretty tight down on the frame rail there. But got the hose on, so go ahead and tighten these clamps up. So I'm just using a nut driver, but I will probably go get my 1/4 inch ratchet, 5/16 socket, and then just give them a good tightening. All right. And that's that there for that one. I'm going to go get some thread sealant, and we'll put this fitting in and then reconnect these air lines. So I'll be right back. All right, got thread sealant on there. We'll put this in. I don't know if it'll go around another turn. I think we'll just try it being about there. Okay, hook up this air line. Might need to replace this air line here. It's a little bit kinked. I'll have to remember to do that later. Alright, that's tight, and then we'll put this one on. Okay, now I'm going to get my rubber insulated clamp and we'll put it on that hose and hold it on that support. That's in there. Go ahead and snug it up. Okay, so there we go. There's the next fitting installed. So I still got some more to do. All right, so now we're working on the right side of the truck. I already installed this new fitting into the airbag. On this one, just like the other side, remove these air lines, the two plastic lines here from the leveling valve. We'll cut this crimp, we'll pull this fitting out, and we'll put the new fitting on. All right, so I got this one, fitting is installed, and these two. So I've still got, what do I got? 4 left to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the rest of these, and I will show you the finished product. All right, welcome back. I got all these finished up here off camera. I didn't figure you guys would want to watch me do that 8 times. I showed you a couple times, but got all the fittings on. Hoses are inside, double clamped with the plug in it. Eventually when the truck's built, I'll take that plug out and I'll run a 1/4 inch line up to the cab. That'll be for the air suspension gauge. All right, well, we have got everything plugged in, so I'm going to hook the air to it and see what we can do here. Got my little temporary fitting valve. We'll hook it up to the shop air and see if the airbags go up. Oh yeah. I didn't think there was any doubts, but it's always good to check. All right, well, I think that does it. We've got airbags with air in it again. Okay, I think that's going to do it. I know that was only one project here on this episode, but we're one step closer. So let me know what you think of this project, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.